And as well as this video tutorial, we've also got the dimensions, the layouts for the sheets, and also some written instructions that you can download in a document below. And before you get started on the project, it's important to make sure you've got the correct tools and type of drywall. So the tools you're going to need are a bottle of PVA glue, a knife with a Stanley blade, and a metre long ruler. Although if you don't have one of those, you can also use a tape measure with a straight edge. And then for the drywall, I'm using a board that's 12.5mm thick. Has a square and not a tapered edge. Is paper wrapped on both of the two long edges, and in total measures 1.2 by 2.4 metres. However, you can also make it out offcuts or break the sheet down, for example, to fit into a couch. And so that's everything you're going to need, but this is how you make it. And so step one is going to be to break the sheet down into smaller pieces I can get my components out of. Starting out with measuring. Okay, so I'm just going to measure off the factory edge and then make a mark on my point, connecting them both with the knife. And so now we've scored or cut through the top layer of paper, the next step is going to be to snap the drywall and cut through the back. And I found the easiest way to do this is to lift the whole sheet on its end. So I just want to place one hand on the side I want to support, and then with the other I can snap the rod. And once it's snapped, you can use a knife again to cut the back layer of paper, repeating the same process with the rest of the pieces. Okay, so now I can cut my components out of these pieces, and I'm going to use the same process as before to do this. Step number 3 is going to be marking and scoring this top layer of paper. And again snapping and cutting to separate the components. And to make these two base pieces fit together, in step 5 we're going to cut a slot halfway up both pieces. And this is so that they can fit inside of each other. But there's two important things to note here. The first is that you need to score through both sides of paper before you remove any of the pieces. And the second is that you need to alternate the side you're cutting the slot from, so as to make sure that this paper edge is touching the floor in the final stool. But to mark the slots, I'm going to use the exact same method as before, measuring from the edge and then using my knife to score the top surface. And so now both sides have been marked down. Rather than snapping this piece free, I'm going to cut it, gradually pressing harder and harder from each side until the piece comes out. There we go. And then for step 6, I'm just going to add some PVA glue to secure them permanently in place. And to attach the top to the base, I'm going to use PVA also. And you've probably noticed when you've been snapping the drywall that sometimes it breaks really smoothly, other times you get a very jagged and bumpy edge. And if you've got that on this top face, it's really important to flatten it, because otherwise the top is going to rock. And there's two ways you can do this. You can either scrape the plaster just with your knife, or you can rub it against a surface you don't mind getting plaster. And then once all of the edges are flat, you can add a bead of glue and adhere the base to the top. And now, after waiting a few hours for the glue to dry, the stool is now finished. It's really strong and sturdy as is. But if you want to protect the surface and seal the edges, you can always apply a layer of varnish or wax. And whereas before the plaster would rub off onto your hands and onto your clothes, now it's completely sealed, meaning the stool can be put to use.